There's a poison in your bloodstream, but you've been told it's natural. Since the moment you could walk, since your first uncertain words, the world has been there. Soft hands that seem to guide but grip a little too tightly. Gentle words that slip a subtle hook into your soul. You are a boy, and boys, they say, are fragile, needy, dependent. Let us show you the way, the world whispers, and you accept it, because you have no choice. The world smiles as it teaches you to be small. It calls this love. But Alfred Adler saw through this. He was a surgeon of the spirit, a man who looked past the polite faces and the words meant to comfort. He saw the machinery hidden beneath the rituals of family, school, and society. He saw how weakness is manufactured, how helplessness is cultivated, how an inferiority complex is not something you're born with, but a sickness injected, a leash snapped around your neck before you even know what freedom feels like. He understood the war that is waged against the masculine soul before it's ever allowed to stand. The world pretends to celebrate the boy, to nurture him into manhood. But watch closely, and you'll see the bars going up, one after another. A father's disappointment, a mother's quiet tears, a teacher's cold comparison. These are the chisels that shape your sense of self. Every failure is catalogued. Every weakness is magnified. You're not as smart as your brother. Why can't you be more careful? Don't be so rough, so loud, so wild. The walls close in. The world doesn't build men. It breeds insecurity and calls it humility. Adler named the sickness inferiority complex. He knew it wasn't just a private shame, but a weapon, fashioned in childhood, sharpened through adolescence, wielded by the world for a lifetime. You are told your scars are shameful, your wounds proof of failure, your confusion a sign that you will never be enough. They tell you that you're broken, so you will always need them. The more you doubt yourself, the more you surrender your power. The weaker you feel, the easier you are to own. This is not an accident. This is not the natural order. This is a system built for control, for profit, for the benefit of everyone but you. Weak men are easier to manage, easier to sell to, easier to manipulate. Weak men become the gears in someone else's machine, dreaming of rescue, forever running from the shadow of their own imagined insufficiency. The world teaches you to worship strength in others, but fear it in yourself. Every hero on the screen is a fantasy. Every real man in your life is quietly shamed for his edge, his ambition, his refusal to kneel. You are taught to look up to authority, to seek approval from above, to beg for recognition from those who claim to know better. You are punished for defiance, rewarded for compliance. School is not education, it is domestication. The wildness is scolded out of you, the hunger anesthetized, the curiosity tamed. You learn not to trust your instincts, not to risk, not to stand out. Every time you try, you are reminded of your place. Subtle corrections, dismissive laughter, the slow drip of doubt that erodes the bedrock of your self-worth. Adler called this the great lie, the belief that your failures are proof of who you are, that your childhood wounds are your destiny, that you are doomed to live forever as the frightened, dependent boy. The world needs you to believe this, because the world feeds on your surrender. The system is not built to set you free. It is built to keep you small. Your inferiority is profitable. Your anxiety is currency. Your constant self-questioning makes you a perfect subject, a perfect consumer, a perfect slave. But there is another way. Adler's revolution was not just a theory, it was a rebellion. He saw that every man is born with the possibility of power, with the hunger to create, to conquer, to overcome. He knew that the wounds of childhood can be fuel, that your earliest pain can become the fire that forges you. But only if you see the trap for what it is. Only if you stop letting your weakness be your master. Only if you refuse to let your childhood be the end of your story. You are not the sum of your scars. You are not the verdict of your failures. You are not the labels stuck to you by wounded parents, anxious teachers, jealous peers. You are not the ghost of the frightened boy you once were. The only chains that bind you are the ones you refuse to see. The only prison is the belief that you deserve to be caged. Look at your life. Every time you hesitate, every time you defer, every time you silence your own voice or apologize for your own power, you are living out the script written for you in childhood. Every time you sabotage yourself, every time you let yourself be mocked or dismissed, every time you play the clown or the victim or the nice guy, you are serving the enemy's agenda. The world doesn't want you healed. It wants you manageable. It needs you to doubt, to delay, to disguise your own hunger as something shameful. But Adler demanded more. He demanded courage, the courage to stand in the wreckage of your childhood and refuse to be defined by it. He demanded the discipline to confront your own story, to name the injuries, to grieve the losses, but then to rise. He called this the will to power, the force inside you that refuses to be owned by the past, that insists on creation, on growth, on forward movement. This is not easy. Every man carries the weight of the boy he was. The shame, the humiliation, the longing for approval, it doesn't just vanish. The world is expert at reactivating your old wounds, pushing your buttons, reminding you that you are small. Women do it, bosses do it, the media does it. The system is always probing for weakness, always waiting for you to break. But Adler's answer is brutal and beautiful. Use the pain. Turn it into fuel. Let your inferiority be the proof of your desire, not the evidence of your limits. Every time you step up, every time you risk, every time you dare to want more, you are rewriting the script. Every time you choose action over apology, creation over complaint, confrontation over compliance, you are breaking the cycle. You are no longer a victim of your story. You are the author. You are no longer a boy begging for love. You are a man demanding respect. This is how the complex is shattered. Not by waiting for permission, not by blaming the world, but by outgrowing the need for anyone's approval. Adler was clear. Inferiority is not a destiny. It is a challenge. The world will always be ready to remind you of your flaws, your losses, your failures. But the man who answers with creation, with movement, with purpose, is untouchable. He is free. He can love without need, fight without apology, build without fear. He becomes the man the world secretly wants but publicly hates. The man who does not need to be rescued. The system is clever. It will try to sell you new solutions to your old wounds, therapies, drugs, self-help, affirmation, all designed to keep you coming back, to keep you questioning, to keep you trapped in the cycle of self-doubt. But Adler's answer was savage. Stop treating yourself as broken. Stop waiting to be healed before you act. Stop looking for rescue in the eyes of a woman, the approval of a boss, the promise of a program. The only cure for inferiority is courage. The only way out is forward. You will be tested. The world will not celebrate your awakening. Those who need you weak will double down. They will shame your strength, question your motives, attack your character. You will be accused of arrogance, of cruelty, of insensitivity. You will be punished for your power. But if you can endure, if you can hold the line, if you can keep moving in the face of their rage, you will become immune. The wounds that once ruled you become your armor. The pain that once caged you becomes your fuel. Most men never reach this. Most men die as they lived, haunted by the ghost of the boy they were, terrified of being found out, desperate for validation that never comes. They sell their lives for comfort, their souls for safety. their ambition for the small reward of not being shamed. They spend their days running from their own hunger, apologizing for their own dreams, policing their own thoughts for signs of toxicity. They are the perfect subjects for a system that depends on the constant reproduction of weakness. But you can choose differently. You can use every insult, every wound, every moment of shame as proof that you are alive. You can reclaim the narrative, refuse the leash, break the cycle of dependency. You can make yourself dangerous, not to others, but to the world's machinery of control. A man who has faced his own inferiority, who has chosen to create instead of complain, cannot be stopped. He cannot be bribed, cannot be blackmailed, cannot be owned. This is Adler's revolution, and it is needed now more than ever. The world will keep trying to manufacture new weaknesses, new doubts, new reasons to keep you small. It will reinvent toxic masculinity 100 times, invent new disorders, new fears, new shames to keep you apologizing for your own existence. But a man who knows his wounds and uses them is a threat to every system that profits from suffering. You do not owe the world your pain. You do not owe anyone your apology. The only thing you owe is the truth, to yourself, to your brothers, to the boy you once were. Stand up, look your past in the eye, name every chain, every insult, every scar, then walk forward, carrying them as proof of your endurance, not as evidence of your defect. You will not be free by waiting. You will not be strong by asking permission. You will not become a man by repeating the rituals of self-doubt. You become free by acting in the face of pain, by building when you are afraid, by refusing to let anyone else define your worth. Your childhood does not own you. Your wounds do not own you. Your inferiority is not your identity. It is your fuel. If you hear this and feel the old ache, the hunger, the shame, the rage, know that you are not alone. Every man who has ever mattered has carried the same burden. Every king, every warrior, every builder was once a frightened boy. The difference is that they refused to stay there. They refused to be trapped. They refused to let the world's weapon become their prison. Break the cycle. Burn the script. Lead yourself out of the cage. This is your life, your pain, your power. Do not give it away. If you feel the call, if you are tired of apologizing, tired of being small, tired of living in a story that was never yours, stay here. Like this message and subscribe. Most men will die as boys, but some will break the chain. Some will become the men they were meant to be. The world will keep trying to make you small. You must refuse. That is the only war. That is the only freedom.